Night drive. The wife wants Krispy Kremes for the guests. So she sends me. I wanted to talk about the cold. That's something that comes up. I remember reading a article in, I think it was Auto Sound and Security. It was the one that had Richard Clark and David Navone as the tech support. And somebody had written in and said, hey, on cold winter days, I get less bass. And that is correct. Well, David goes into troubleshooting the fucking circuit board and all this kind of stuff, which was really dumb. And that's the only time I've really seen him say or talk, reference something that was dumb. The amp either works or it doesn't. The amp actually likes the cold, really a lot. It's filled with semiconductors, and semiconductors really like to conduct electricity really efficiently when it's cold. So it was not the amplifier, it was not the problem. Later I think it was a couple years later, in a episode, or I should say this, an issue of Speaker Builder magazine, they actually tested a speaker's performance, loudspeaker, in cold weather versus warm weather. And there was actually two factors. One factor was the air. In cold weather, the air is more dense and heavier. And the way that you fix that in a car environment is to simply warm up your car. So you warm up the car, and then you turn, especially if you have remote start or something like that, and then you just turn the heater on blast. And so then when you get in, you're like, ugh, this is hot, gross. And then you got to crack the windows or whatever, and then it equalizes and gets comfortable. So, but warm weather and hot air is actually where bass does the best, as far as performance goes and loudness and things like that. The other factor that they discovered was that the suspension on the drivers is affected. So the Spider, not as much, because it's just cloth impregnated with phenolic resin. The surround is where it was. Less so, of course, in foam surrounds, more so in rubber surrounds. Then that was the problem. Sometimes it can get really brittle and actually break. And so that's why most manufacturers actually go with foam surrounds, because you get dudes in cold climates that will bitch about it. They're like, hey, I'm not getting any bass, or hey, this ripped, or whatever like that. And so they just avoid that. There are some surround materials. One of them was developed by Monsanto. It's called Santoprene, and it's actually a really good product. They used it on I think it was the late, I forget which generation of the TC Sounds built Orion HCCAs, the 10s and the 12s, and the 15s as well. So it's just a surround, and the Santoprene is just a trademark name for something that probably already exists anyway. In fact, that reminds me, I gotta use Tilo. Tilo made the Storm, the Tilo of TC Sounds. He made the Storm hybrid honeycomb woofers, and the surround that he used on it was fucking amazing. I still have some that are from 1999, and they, I'm here in Arizona, and they're not dry rot, and they're still strong, and they're still flexible, and they're better than the stuff that he used on the Audio Pulse stuff, which was a different tooled surround. It was supposed to be thinner at the top, and that actually ended up being two problems with that, which was it created a weak spot where it would flex more, and then it would also dry rot because of the material that they used. And so I got Audio Pulse cones where they just dry rots and sucks. So I'm actually going to get it reproduced, because I know some guys do prefer rubber. I prefer rubber, and I love it, especially here in Arizona. It's fine, so it works great. But and then of course we'll blend that in and to the 5 Series cones and Johnny 5 cones, and of course Mega Roll is where I really want to see it. But we may have to reinforce it with some string, like Pioneer used to do, and I think it's not Phi, it's DC. Rusty Flowers, I think on some of his cones he did that. So by the way, Rusty's sending me some Mega Roll 15-inch with green stitch. Hit me up if you want some. I can deck them out for whatever you want. So I think we're doing trades on that. I'm not sure. dude, the guy is so fucking cool. He didn't even ask for payment. He's like, he's probably just going to send them to me and then be like, here's an invoice or, you know, whatever, pay me, whatever. It's like fucking rad. So, yeah, if you're going to spend big money on woofers, buy DC. Yeah, don't buy Sundown. That's Scotty Johnson's corporation, multinational corporation now. So, but, oh, I wanted to comment on that briefly, which was, some people got butthurt about the Sundown thing, of course, which is hilarious. Scott Dildo chimed in, which is funny because I'm not sure why he doesn't have a lot of social media. I'm talking about Scott Dilbeck of, what's it called? He's the at that Sundown guy on Instagram, and then I think he's like Dildo Skates or something like that on YouTube. But I'll put links to him so you can go check him out. But he's the guy, I did a whole thing on him. I'll do a link to the video on that. So he was doing some dick move stuff, and him and his dad have been, you know, fucking people on car audio for years and years and years and years. And he started Power Hog or Hog Tunes or whatever, something, and then bailed on it, and now is on Jacob, and now Scotty Johnson's nuts for Sundown. So anyways, I think there was that. Let's see, weather. Yeah, it's cold. That was the reason why is I used some mass on a 10. I added some mass, and I was still getting like a 36 hertz FS, but when I'm sitting there playing it and looking at the resonance using the amp meter, it was showing closer to 25 hertz. So I'm like, I don't know what's up with that. So I think I want to try it tomorrow again, after a long break-in period, to make sure that the subwoofer is nice and floppy. That may be good though, because the motor is really powerful on it, and I think it showed like a 0.3 cubic foot VAS. I was like, that's insane. Like, what's up with that? So, but that's also all 8 layers in series on that voice coil. That's the Concept 8-layer voice coil. Let's see what else. Oh, some people butthurt about MB enclosures. I'll tell you a quick story that I've been sharing with people about that. So I was in the Air Force, and there's this cool guy, Todd, that was from, I think he was from Alabama. I can't remember now. It was from one of the southern states. And smart guy. You know, and he had typical southern habits. I think he dipped or something like that. And but he had a really heavy accent. And I remember one time he got really mad. We were out on the floor. It's like a comm floor, the comm center. Anyways, he got really mad because he came out of the front office, and he's like, fucking goddamn it, Chandler. He's like, these guys won't take me serious. And I go, it's the accent. Like, to me, it was obvious. It was the accent. I go, if you sound like one of the Duke boys, they're not going to take you serious when it comes to tech. And from what I remember, he actually got rid of his accent, and he went on to be very successful. And lots of people do that for TV and radio jobs and things like that. Like if you're a native Spanish speaker, you get rid of the Spanish accent. Now, sometimes what's funny is really entertaining, especially here in Phoenix, is when they go to pronounce like a Latin name, or you know, they really roll that R, and they really just let you know is Fuentes. You know, they really Fuentes. They you know, even if there's no R in there. But they really kind of, you know, let you know, and they say it with an accent, because I think some people get a little butthurt too when you say like Jimenez instead of Jimenez, you know. But anyways, yeah, lots of people get rid of their accents so that they can live a better professional life, and I think that's all I was suggesting with MB enclosures. That's all. But again, I cannot take him serious when he's talking, and especially he seems like he's on a script. He's talking about some stuff that he memorized, right? You know, like he did his homework, you know, like he's the kid that, to me, again, this is an observation, I don't know this for sure, but it seems like he's the guy that does a book report 5 minutes before the book report is due, and it's just like disheveled and half-assed, and you know, and then in the middle of it, he's like, go digital designs or whatever, and he promotes whatever brand he's promoting this week. That's all. And again, I think it's funny because some people then judge me for judging him, and I didn't really judge him. All I did was point this out. To me, it seems obvious, but again, to other people, it doesn't. And I don't know. I find that entertaining, and I just wanted to address it. And again, I don't mind criticism at all. If somebody calls me dumb or calls me, like, please explain. Like, I would love to know what I'm missing. I would love to know where my shortcomings are and what I need to work on, and go to it. So, what was it? Somebody told me, sorry, I'm having a moment, senior moment. Oh, that's what it was. Somebody commented on the, they said I was talking about my stripper policies, sex worker policies, shop policies, which was that he wants affordable and mean. So, and I laughed because I remember the first time I discovered that I occasionally enjoy being abused by a pretty girl. We were at a bachelor party, and for some reason I was just relaxed, and I was, these girls are there topless, and I said, can you please tell me to stare at your tits and then slap me in the face hard for a girl, slap me in the face and say, oh, I can't believe you stared at my tits. That is a beyond boner moment, meaning you have like an orgasm inside your body, in, like, I guess your butthole or whatever. Maybe it's a gay orgasm. I don't know. But it was like my body was like, that was awesome. Like, even before I could even get a boner. So, I don't know where that comes from. I've asked a couple of people about it. I was like, I don't know. So, and then I think a couple times when I went down to Mexico for seminars, I went into the strip clubs and had girls do that. So, which was weird because they were afraid to slap me, and I was like, no, really lay into me. So, but anyways, but I thought that was a funny thing. Again, affordable and mean, that's perfectly all right. Expensive but nice, that's okay too. That's very doable, but not expensive and mean. Like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck? Fuck you. And that goes for shops or people in general, and also, well, and that's what MB Enclosures is. Mean and expensive. And then on top of that, the accent, what did somebody call it? Mumble mouth. I don't know what else to call it. Without sounding like a complete Klan member. I don't see it that way. I just see it as a guy that is lazy and won't articulate himself. That's all. So again, I think he can do better, and I think there's better representatives of audio. Certainly not somebody like JP or fucking Jacob from Sundown or whatever, or even Scotty Johnson that is of Sundown now, or any of those guys. So you got to remember that those guys are in the business of audio to make money. It's not about passion. It's not about helping people out. They're there to help their own families. So just like fucking Scotty Dilbeck, he's there to help himself. That's why he sells Snap-on. That's why he sells Sundown. That's why it's so funny too. It's like he gave up his own brand to go sell Sundown. Like, what? And then who was it? That guy, David Lieb. What a douche. He gave up his own brand to go be a reconer at Sundown. And then somebody commented in the comments, they're like, yeah, wouldn't you go work for a big boys making $200,000? I'm like, dude, as a reconer? No, you're maybe making $25 an hour. That's it. There are so many Mexican women that can replace you in a heartbeat. It does not take brains to recount, especially on an assembly line. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Just look at the assembly line for JL. So, but anyways, I love you guys. I got to get some donuts. I will talk to you later.